from Advocate Bihari.
Yes.
That the report is vague. I indicated that in my interview. That the report is vague, therefore we're not going to take any action. Julius was cleared. Brigadier Mkhwanazi was cleared. But
when did your perusal take place? I just want to get an idea of the timeline, because you say you reached your conclusion before, but at some stage you perused. So I want the timeline, a clearer timeline.
Sorry, Chair, if you misunderstood. I said post the advice.
Post the advice,
yeah,
but before your final view on the matter.
Yes. And the matter went further to say that my response goes further to say that after receiving the supporting document, I feel that the opinion given then is not assisting me.
Also, effectively, you did not accept Advocate Behari's advice.
Initially, I did.
Because it was not eventually.
Initially, I did.
But eventually,
eventually post evidence and everything, and reading the document properly. I don't think the opinion assist.
You refer.
Yeah. An IPID report says this person has not been honest. In fact, he abused his power. He wasn't supposed to sign the these two memoranda of understanding. And you don't do anything about it. In fact, she went on Eyewitness News. They played her an interview earlier this year on Eyewitness News where she said, well, that IPID report is vague. No action is going to be taken against Julius Mkhwanazi. She's a city manager of a metro like Ekurhuleni. She says, I just perused through the IPID report. And yet, you still go and give an interview when you have just perused the report. And then you sought legal advice. And the legal team said, this report is vague. And you just took that. You ran with it. You didn't question the legal department to say, but hold on. But it says here that this person signed 2 memoranda of understanding. He didn't have authority to do that. She didn't ask any of that. What a disgrace.
Good morning, Clement and the team. You know, I just love the way that the Madlanga Commission handled that lady with class and elegance, number one. And I love when women like that are not even women, individuals like that, who have this entitlement, the sense of thinking that they're better than others, their shallowness. I love it. I love watching them having to take accountability. I love watching them be shamed because of all the bad things they've done. Karma to them, watching bad karma on them is the best thing ever. God bless South Africa.
About the city manager of Ekurhuleni, I'm sure she's lying. From everything that she's saying there, she's lying. The problem is, I'm just suggesting that maybe she was trying to protect the boss for her own interests until she found out that the boss threw her under bus. Then that's when she came with the allegation without proof, and there's nothing they can do about it. It's very sad.
Morning, Clemza. Morning, 702 listeners. That witness, Clemza Aisha, no, she's a problem. She came there, guns blazing. She told herself she's not going to take anything from the commission. She came there to defend and make wild accusations, which are unsubstantiated, no evidence. Mabari. Like she claimed that she was not going to come with Mabari. She came with testimony. 99% Mabaribar. Yeah, no, yeah. Moses, it's rent.
Good morning, Madi Major. Amos here from Randburg. Interesting part is that when you listen to all these guys give evidence, you realize that General Mkhwanazi was highlighting a bigger problem in the system. I agreed with you initially when the whole thing started that we need to see a little bit more. I think at this point, I'm interested to hear what your perspective is. After seeing all that we've seen and had everybody that we've had, I'm starting to lean more on believing the story that General Mkhwanazi was correct.
Oh, my perspectives have always been there, my brother. My perspectives have always been there. And my perspective has never been that General Mkhwanazi is not correct. If I'm understanding what you're saying, my perspective has always been that you need to look beyond face value. That's something that I've operated with throughout my entire life, but more so as a professional. You need to look beyond that. So when people expose certain things, that's important. And we must be grateful for that. But also look within the system. Are there other fights that are happening? And my view is that there are fights that are happening in the SAPS. There are. This thing has exposed a lot of things. And we should be happy for that, because actually, I think this is going to give us an opportunity to reset, if at all that is possible. But as I said last week? I said crime intelligence. I've said this in July, and I'm saying it again. There is a fight. There's a battle for the control of crime intelligence. Not only because of powerful people who want to have access to agents and spies and these people who are able to get information off the books. Not because of that, the influence they need on that, but because there's also a slush fund that controls multi-million rands. And they want control of that. Dumisani Kumalo is the head of crime intelligence. He was arrested in a dramatic fashion at OR Tambo International Airport. That triggers what? More fights that happen. Yesterday, in fact, was it this weekend? A former state security agency employee. Remember Tulani? Is it Tulani Zwane? Who's an ally of the former president Jacob Zuma. He appeared in court yesterday or over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. He's the person that was accused of having played a role in the July unrest and helped work on it on the ground as a former crime intelligence agent or as former spy. So there is a fight. There are two factions fighting each other here. They're throwing dead this way, they're throwing dead this way. And yes, some of them will be good people, some of them will be bad people. But that tells you of how contested things are, even in institutions like the SAPS. So, what I think we're seeing with Ekurhuleni, and I loved, someone tweeted yesterday, I must find that for you, said, for as long as we've got people like Imogen who have served as city managers, doesn't that explain why we've seen such a rot at local government? Part of it, it's not just a rot politicians, some of them oversee in these metros. Sometimes the accounting officers themselves have no disregard whatsoever for processes, for doing things the right way. That's why I'm asking, does anybody know? Maybe someone has worked with Imogen before, Dr. Imogen Mashazi before. Maybe you are able to tell us, no, actually she's different at work. Because what she demonstrated yesterday, that leaves a lot to be desired. And I can only imagine how difficult it must be to work under a person like that. I'm hoping that what we saw yesterday was her being frustrated. And when she's in a professional environment, she's a much, much, much better, sober human being.
Hi, Clement. This is Sidole Tsumane. Clement, this Mashazi this woman is lying with a straight face, man. Really. And she's been so protective, and she can't answer a direct question, being asked, no. This is very wrong, but no, she'll get her match. Thank you.
Morning, Clement. I think Dr. Mashazi was trying to be clever and used the incorrect way to mean something else. She said perused, while in fact she meant a cursory glance.
Yes.
Because perusal is a legal term used by lawyers to mean that you read a document detail, and you apply your mind to it. That is not what she did. Upelo here from Benoni.
Yes, I think you're right.
Thank you.
maybe she meant I'd lost over it. You're right, because peruse. It's like I perused it. Okay, then you read it sort of in detail. You must know what was in that report. Yeah, but still, guys, like, I don't know. As a city manager, if there's a report that lands on your desk, if you don't have time to read, to peruse, to use a word, the report, I mean, don't you have subordinates that you can say, please read the report, summarize it for me? In fact, today, Renali King, AI, ChatGPT, whatever, these tools that can summarize things for you, apparently. So you get your subordinate, hey, please read this. Or as a legal team, can you read this report and tell me the main things that come out? What are they saying? 1, he didn't have authority to sign the memoranda. 2, he abused his power. He lied. Okay. If that's what happened, what do you advise me to do as the legal team? Oh, we advise you to just overlook the report and do nothing about it because it's vague. No, legal team, what do you mean it's vague? He signed these 2 memoranda of understanding. He didn't have authority to do that. That's what you do as a city manager who actually takes their job seriously. I see she's back at the commission now. Abel, can we go there live? She's back at the Madlanga Commission. Let's go there for just a couple of minutes to hear what she's saying today. Hopefully the attitude has changed.
Actually brought to the attention of the city now during the sexual harassment case of the victim.
Just repeat, I didn't quite get the point you were making about you are one woman and there are 3 men. You said something about being able to raise issues of this nature in that context. I didn't quite get the point you were making. Can you please articulate that point more clearly?
I have raised the issue that I have concern that these things are happening in the department.
Just repeat, please.
I have raised the point about sexual harassment allegations within the department, and Chief being one of them. But the other issues that I raised there, to be honest, but I do not recall, but definitely I did raise the issue.
Do matters like those get recorded somewhere? Would there be a record of what you raised at those interviews somewhere within the municipality?
Well, the interviews are not recorded. We write down about the scoring and how the interviewed they are actually performing. That is the purpose of the interview. But there's no space where
is that good governance, though? Because there's a lot of issues usually arise out of what took place at interviews. Is it good governance not to record? And one example of the sort of issues that do arise is, for example, litigation around who was appointed and who was not appointed. Is it good governance not to record?
It's not.
And why under your administration wasn't there recording if you accept that it's not good governance not to?
Interviewing processes are run by HR department. They bring the files to us, and the forms are actually structured in such a manner that we only record the process and the response of the candidates that are being interviewed.
Yes.
But there is no space where you can write your objection as a member of the panel.
When you say you get what comes from HR, it sounds to me like you are saying it's HR's fault. And if my understanding is correct, you are the head, you are the administrative head, the executive head, in fact. So you can correct what HR is doing wrong, can't you? So
I take your point, Commissioner.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Mashazi, this video is in 2020. Is that correct, or is it
correct,
recent?
Commissioner?
I beg your pardon?
Correct.
Yes. And when you do the interview in 2022, you are aware of this incident or these complaints?
Correct, Commissioner.
And did you raise them in the panel with Chief Mapiyeye?
This particular one, I do not recall.
You don't recall whether you raised it?
Yeah, I don't recall. I only recall the sexual harassment one.
You raised the sexual harassment in that interview?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you record your concerns in your form that you complete?
I didn't.
You did not?
Yes.
So as matters stand, the appointing authority, which is council, doesn't know that you raised this issue in the panel because you didn't write it down?
Correct, ma'am.
Okay. Did you dissent in the panel? Because you're saying it's a panel appointment. Did you dissent from the majority decision in the panel? And before you answer, I would like to propose to you that and I can put this to you, that experience is that people do record in their panels, in their panel discussion, they do record concerns about candidates. Did you record your dissension from the decision to recommend him?
I didn't.
You did not.
I didn't.
So council never came to know that you are unhappy that he be appointed to the position because of the allegations that you are now making before us. Council
Yes.
never came to know about it.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's not council's fault that chief got to be appointed in 2022 for another 5 years.
Correct.
You can't blame councillors for that.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Come on, clap for Commissioner Baloyi.
Say that
That is Commissioner Sesi Baloyi, who is, my goodness, yeah. She recommended the same person who's got sexual harassment claims against. This person got recommended for reappointment. She says she had concerns, but she's never recorded them. That was Commissioner Baloyi there, asking him some really, really serious questions. It's 11 minutes now before 10 o'clock. In fact, let me ask you this before the break, because someone tweeted me and says, Clement, this is Mr. People Say on Twitter, says, Clement, I think some of the commissioners are factional. They didn't question so hard on some of the first witnesses. Do you feel like that's the case? Do you think that the commissioners are being hard on Mashazi, but they were not hard on the people who were making claims against Mashazi? Case in point, like when people came in the beginning and said Mashazi had extra, a very close, unexplained relationship with Julius Mkhwanazi, did they face tough questions around evidence? Like, what evidence do you have for that? I know the chair of the commission, in fact, yesterday took some time to tell Dr. Mashazi that, in fact, it was Commissioner Baloyi who asked for the evidence when those people appeared and made claims that Mashazi had quite a weird relationship with Julius Mkhwanazi. But I just want us to be open-minded, because I want to know if that's what you think. Because that's a possibility. It could very well be that the commissioners are hard on her, but they were not so hard on the people who were making claims against her. What do you think?
Clement, just to comment, she is like that at work, without mentioning names. She is like that.
Clement, hope you're well. Great show as always. I'm getting worried with regards to such people like this one. We should have a law whereby if somebody is like acting like this, being reckless or doing such things like this, they need to take away their pension. They get nothing, like absolutely nothing, if they were to be found in corruption or any kind of like things like this. Really, I mean, that's where they will learn, these people. Yes.
Hey, Clement, Never from Pretoria. I don't think the commissioners are hard on Mashazi. Or if they are, it's because they already listened to the other witnesses who had evidence that clearly implicates Mashazi in this whole thing. So now Mashazi comes here, she wants to spin everything. So one would get frustrated that you'll be hard on them because you can see and you know they're not telling the truth. Thanks for a great show. Bye.
Hey, good morning, Clement and team. The last punches from Commissioner Baloy. I felt I could hear my hair moving differently. I could hear my eyes being teary. Yo, guys, I don't understand. We are not led, or what's happening? How are these people employed, put in the position that they're in? And back to saying this witness is not asked questions like the other witness that has been before the Madlanga Commission. I think it's because of her attitude. This lady, the attitude that she has brought into the commission, it's way different from others. She's got, hey, her attitude is something else. Masat in Midrand.
Morning, Mr. Madimeja. Now I get to understand why the streets of Ekurhuleni are not marked. There is no robots, and you'll only get to be surprised when the metro officer is stopping you and telling you that you skipped the stop sign, because there's no clear indication that this is a stop sign, there's a four-way stop. Forget the robots, because there's no robots. Now you get to ask yourself, what is the difference between Johannesburg municipality and Ekurhuleni municipality? Because Johannesburg municipality is far way better. We understand that there could be corruption going on, but Ekurhuleni is just a mess. And now you listen to this member of Ekurhuleni Metro saying things like this. Wow. Last one here.
Clement, hi. Yeah, I thought what she depicted, this city manager, was a clear evidence of someone who's neglecting her duties, etc., not carrying out her required tasks or oversight properly. But I'm asking the question, who does she report to? Who failed over all these years that she was in that position? Who failed to see that she's not doing her job properly? There must be someone who's supposed to be having oversight over her. Thanks, Tim. Kitembi.
Morning, Clem, Mike and Orange Proof. They say we get the leadership we deserve. These commissions have come at the right time in anticipation of elections next year. I pray and hope that people are listening. People are realizing that if you want the same old, you're going to vote back the same old. But if you want a new, fresh thinking and mindset, someone who respects their positions, you will vote differently, I think gone are the days whereby we're voting with our hearts. We vote with our minds now. Vote with your mind. Think as you sit in that booth. Choose the person whose value is more for you than anything else. We want people who serve the community, not the other way around. Hey, the arrogance. Yeah.
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.